We welcome VU3 Uniform Oscar Mike, Dr. Jaisakthivel from Chennai, and he is going to talk on Dxing to CQ. Dr. T. Jaisakthivel, VU3 Uniform Oscar Mike, is Assistant Professor at Department of Journalism and Communication, University of Madras, Chepauk, in Tamil Nadu. The new Hams doesn't know what is happening in the international band. Even some of the old Hams also don't know the DX program from around the world. The lecture will focus on world of radio like Wavescan, DX party, etc. The focus of the presentation will be how the DXing helps to the ham for their activities for long distance catches. The program is brought to you live on YouTube Live by VU3 Oscar Uniform Mike Coleman Mangesh. The signature tune that you have heard on accordion is by our old man Nandu, VU2 November Delta Foxtrot. So it is all efforts and a teamwork of Pune Hams which is bringing you this excellent program. Without spending much time, I will request Dr. Jaisakthivel to start his presentation. Thank you all for participation.
Okay, I think this is Mangesh. Are you going to give an introduction, or I will go on air? Okay, thank you. And this is a very interesting session.
Not to use equally for program on YouTube only. Because YouTube and equally, and another issue is the transition. So they are not I believe a question and answer session after the presentation. So I invite Dr. Jaisakthivel to start his presentation. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, I think this is a wonderful opportunity that we enter into this. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I want. Okay. Now I think now I reduce my volume there in the echo. Also, I will put in that I will transmit in the echo link or only in that YouTube only, no? So okay. Then no problem. Okay, thank you very much for the wonderful opportunity for the Pune Hams, and I must thank to the Dr. Uniform number 2 VPR, Mr. Vilas Rabde sir, and Dr. Uniform number 3 UEL Dilip Bhatt, and Victor Uniform number 3 UM Mangesh. All the Pune Hams and the people those behind this particular work for last few months. We are doing a great job. And thank you very much for the opportunity to talk on the Dxing to CQ. Of course, it is a very interesting topic for the people, those who are in this band, and also the SWLs, because a lot of SWLs were entered into this band through this way that what I did. So the slide which I showed here is a very important slide, and my guru were also there. I think FOT were also on there. Thank you very much for this particular team, that is BCBX Net 7075 plus or minus, I think 7080 on some days. This is the band which gives me a lot of information about that what happening there in that international band. When I enter into this hobby, I monitor my shortwave radio. When I tune the shortwave radio, I listen a lot of interesting frequencies details were available. They told on that particular frequency, and I note it down and I enter into this particular international band. After that, what happened? I came to know that one of the very interesting program which were broadcast by Voice of America. The name of the program called Communication World. Still, it is available in the internet, but not in air. The program were produced by Kim Andrew Elliott. He's the person who presented the program and produced the program. He gave a lot of interesting information about what's happening there in the international band and how to tune that one and in which way that it will be help to you to develop your skills. And simultaneously, they told about this particular program called Media Network, and this is the persons who produced the program. His name is called Jonathan Marks and Diana Jones. I think both of them were presenting a wonderful program, and this particular program gave a lot of materials to the DXers, like. How to catch the long distance stations and what type of receivers were available in the market. Every topics were released as a booklet, and they send it to the listeners free of cost. Nearly 30 plus booklets were they released, and every DXers were want to grab that copy. That much of interesting copy that is, and that is a program were introduced in Radio Netherlands. They broadcast the program in Radio Netherlands. Still, I remember the frequency 150 something like that. And the next interesting program which helped me to enter into this field called DX40 line. It is also an interesting program which gives a lot of technical details, particularly antenna oriented details and how to catch that long distance stations and that were broadcast from HCJB Australia. Now they changed the name beyond. Australia, so that the X40 line also now understood program. And you may ask me like this: you are talking about that past, and what about the present time DXing? Of course, this is the long-running show. Still, it is running on band, and our Indian friends were also Indian DX report were also given by Purkiesta, and a lot of wonderful presentation were from different parts of the world. Still, it is on air. It's the Adventist World Radio program called Wavescan. It's one of the oldest program and the long-running DX program, which gives us a lot of information. Every Sunday, they are on air in different shortwave frequencies. So the hands, those who are in this field, you must go to their website or on air. You must listen this program. It's an interesting program, and they have a wonderful web page also. They put all the script on their web page. Of course, I am also receiving a script from them, and I put it in my blog called dxsguide.blogspot.com. It's a very unique program, and this is the current running program. And likewise, another interesting program for DXers and hands called World of Radio. Every week, this guy, John Housen from USA, were uploading a lot of content in their website, and also simultaneously they were in the air in the shortwave bands. Very interesting thing is here in this particular program, they gave the unknown signals. That means you have to identify the signal. Some of the signals were from far away, no? So what is the broadcast? Where they from, or from the universe? Like that, they are discussing that new frequencies and interesting materials were there in that particular program. Still, it is on air and also simultaneously in the online. And the very interesting thing is that he uploaded the script in his website in the World of Radio. You may go through that website and get a lot of information. Through this particular website only, I am getting interesting information for my blog and my magazines, which I run for the DXers, two magazines which we run. I will tell that things in the latter part of this lecture. So another very important thing, of course, you people were aware of that. A lot of people were also regular buyer of this book, and I must thank here Mr. Arasu sir from Bangalore. He's a person where giving me a lot of old WRTH. In the meantime, that I have to mention Mr. VU2F40 Shanmuga Sundaram. I saw the first WRTH in his QTH. It's a very good encyclopedia for the DXers and the hams also. That is the reason that they said that the directory of global broadcasting and of course Josh Jacob and all the team members were here in India were giving the Indian details to them. It's a very wonderful book for the DXers, those who are enter into this field. So even though the hands doesn't have this book, they must have one copy with them because it is a good reference for them to what's happening there in international band, who are on air, who are doing what, and a lot of things were there. 600 plus pages book like ARRL handbook. It is a very important book which helped me to enter into this great world. This is another book. Right now it is not on. Publication. That means they were stopped their publication due to the people those who are not buy this book, and also the shortwave band were on decline. So what happened? This passport to world band radio were went out, but this is a very interesting book which focus only on shortwave band, and also they are giving a lot of interesting information about ham bands also, and frequency charts and reviews of the new receivers, and what are the gadgets or goodies were sent to the shortwave listeners. So that this is a very interesting book, A4 size book. And here another interesting book called Kling's Shortwave Frequency Guide. It's a competitive guide for the WRTH. Those were no WRTH, and they were some of them were not aware of this particular guide. Shortwave frequency guide. It's a very interesting book. This year, the secret HF signals for SDR fund. Those who are in the software defined radio, you must grab this 24th edition of 2020 shortwave frequency guide. This is the one of the interesting guide which I contribute for 10 years in the for shortwave frequencies, and these guys were giving very interesting facts what's happening there in that shortwave band, and they are also published another interesting book, and you must the hams must have this book that is called utility radio stations. It's a very very useful book. If you are monitor the international band, then you must have this copy. He will give all the details of the utility radio stations. We may know about the ham bands, or we may know about the shortwave bands, international broadcasters, but we don't know anything about utility radios. You must please note it down, that utility keyword, and you go through that utility radio stations, and you may get interesting frequencies. For example, air bands and the police frequencies, not only police, the international space station frequencies and the ship frequencies, a lot of things over there, weather stations, time signals. So all the details were there in this book. Every year he is updating this book from and also he is giving sample pages in his website. If you go to the Klingenfils, you will get the sample pages, whether it is useful to you or not. So these are all the DX part. That is my lecture were there in the two part. One part is focusing on the DXing, another part is in the CQ. So the first part we are going on there. So another interesting magazine which helped me to as an editor, I worked in this magazine for 15 years. I gave a world news column in this shortwave news. This is the oldest DX magazine from Denmark, Shortwave Club International, and I wrote a column called World News. And in this particular magazine, they gave interesting facts about which of the stations were sending QSLs and the pennants and a lot of goodies for the listeners, and interesting columns were also there in this one. Right now they stopped it, and but this particular magazine available in the net. Still, he is producing the local radio, that is tropical band survey. Every year he is doing a tropical band survey, and he circulate that one in the net as a free of cost. So every ham must go and download that material, tropical band survey, which is very useful for you to uh, check out that condition of the band. And let's come to this interesting magazine, Monitoring Times. So few people were aware of this magazine, and also you people were, some of you were also subscribed this magazine. So it's the topic itself gives you that the Monitoring Times monitor the band. So this is the another interesting. And in this one, he also give the tropical DX survey and guide to finding and fixing a lot of new frequencies and public service broadcaster. So they are also discussing about that new antenna sites, such of antenna sites. For example, you people were aware of that. That next war will be in that electromagnetic waves. An interesting magazine. Another one is for the hands and also for the DXs. It's a spectrum monitor, understanding effective radiated power areas. Like this is the recent issue, and this is also focusing on the amateur, shortwave, AM, FM, TV, and Wi-Fi. These are all the magazines which we receive because of we are also running a magazine. I told you, no. So we send a copy to them, and they are all sending exchange copies to us. So through that way that we are receiving these copies, and some of the sample copies available in their website, and unfortunately the subscription rate is little bit high, so the people will not buy this book just like that. So DXS Guide, another interesting and informative magazine were from India. I don't want to give more information about this guide because this is the guide which we run from India for last 15 years. Right now it is available on the blog. The blog address is www.dxsguide.blogspot.com. This particular guide will give a lot of interesting information. You see the content, how we focused. Behind this, what is the reason we start this guide is there is a lot of things available in the internet. That means in India, all over the world. But in India, you see, nearly 130 crore population we have, but we don't have any radio magazines or ham magazines in a popular way. So that what we design, why don't we bring out this magazine? And you may be surprised, what is the subscription rate for this magazine for a year, annual magazine. It's only 75 rupees, and you will get a copy quarterly. And likewise, we give a lot of Indian oriented contents like community radio, harm news, and the DX cartoon, Indian news, QSL corner, DX calendar, and DRM page, digital page, world news, DX difference, such a vlogs. Like these are the chapters where we cover in this DX guide. And still there are a lot of subscribers and the DXers were want this. Why don't you bring it in the hard copy manner? But unfortunately, you see, the production cost is very low, but the distribution cost is very high. For a courier, we have to spend 50 rupees, but the subscription rate itself 75 rupees. This is the quarterly magazine in English, and this is the Tamil magazine, international radio. We call it Sarvadesa Vanoli in Tamil, and this is a monthly magazine which focus all the DXing aspect and also the ham aspect. And you see the picture of this particular one, the lighthouse week, and Arasus are also there in this one. And the picture, it is a monthly magazine. The annual subscription rate for this magazine is 100 rupees for the 12 issues. So this is also we run for nearly 15 years. This magazine also now available in the blog. The blog address is sarvadesavanoli.blogspot.com. So the time is right now 8:50. We have only 10 minutes more. So I will go a little bit faster. So in this magazine, we give the serials and the DXing details, how we at DX were entered into the ham band, in which way it will help to us, and the technical aspect. What are the new receivers were available in the market? What are the receivers available here in India? And books, DX books, what type of books were available here in India, and what are the books available in all over the world, like that kind of thing. And I must tell you about this interesting book called Radio Courier. Another interesting book which is published in German, unfortunately, but it's like our India Today A4 size book. Every month they are giving 120 pages booklet, which covering a lot of interesting facts about the ham band and Dxing. So you know one thing that all over the world, all the countries were publishing this kind of magazines in colorful way, but unfortunately here in India, we don't have any magazine for the ham or DX community. I think this is the chance for I request the people those who are interested in this field. We may start one booklet like this. All the developed countries, even though they are moving to the new technology, they are not give up this kind of magazines. Still, they are publishing in UK, US, Japan, Germany, all the countries. So here we have to take on lesson from this one, and we must give this kind of book to the community because future community. Let's come to the CQ. I think you people were aware of this wonderful practical wireless magazine, which is available in the all the British councils earlier, but not now. It gives up to date information for the DXs and also the hams, and through this way only I learned a lot of new receivers and new type of antennas and home viewing techniques were there in this one. This is the place which we learn new, interesting, and informative things were from this book. And these people also published another one interesting book called Radio User. This is focused only on the DXing perspective. That means for the DXers, and they gave like actually the cover picture itself shows that spice and radio. What are the spice stations were there in that one, and how come we will catch it, and in which way that we will get the QSL from them. So this is the another interesting magazine which helped me. Of course, some of the hams here in India were subscribed this one from the ARRL. QST. It's also one of the guide. I think this lecture were always focused only on the booklets and the magazines, but this is the way that we people enter into this hobby. That means we are DXR. How come we receive the details or broadcasting station details from these kind of magazines and the DX program. So now what I'm doing that I'm getting updates were from this kind of magazines and the website IRR website and from different parts of the world ham radio clubs websites. So QC is one of the very interesting useful magazine. Unfortunately, it is also very high subscription rate for this magazine, so we people will not buy just like that. But you may that means you will send your magazine to them, they will send another magazine for you like that. So this is a trick for getting this one. This is from the Great Britain, Radio Society of Great Britain. We are publishing Radcom, radio communication magazine, and still it is on active mode. So you people will go to their website and get a sample copy, and if you're interested, you may buy this one. You know, uniqueness of this magazine is they are giving some of the Ofcom broadcasting list. Ofcom is like an INB ministry. Ofcom is a controlling body there in UK, and they are giving a new stations details like RSL stations. RSL means restricted service license, like here in India, like a community radio. But the unique part of this RSL is, for example, if Deepavali function, Deepavali festival were came, and the time 1 month only they give on license. The name of the channel called Deepavali FM. For a Ramadan, they will give a license for a 1 month Ramadan FM. Likewise, the local festivals, no, on the time 1 month license they give, and the people will broadcast in a commercial band. That means in the FM band. So that details were available in the Redcom, and another magazine for UK DX magazine called Communication, which were published by British DX Club. That is also giving that Ofcom details. So these are all the bands which gives me a lot of information to develop my skills. And the CQ, of course, this is also interesting copy which available in the internet, but the subscription rate is a little bit high. So people, please go through it. And some of the DX magazines which I'm referring in different way that. So here I will stop. I think 2 minutes, 4 minutes more. I have to mention this one of the very interesting QSL which we distribute to the people those who are listening our program called Radio World, which were broadcast in All India Radio Chennai. Every Sunday we gave this program, and this is the one of the world's smallest QSL card. After that, Puskesta were also published this kind of card. So this is the QSL certificate. Those who are receiving our program and sending a report to us. 10 minutes program which broadcast in All India Radio Chennai, external service of All India Radio. So the name of the program called Radio World, but unfortunately the program in Tamil. So this is a very interesting book where from Japan Shortwave Club and Shortwave DX Guide. It is available on the internet. You may go through it. And 50% of the content were in Japanese, but 50% of the content in the English. And here you see, yesterday I came to know that the person were from Bhubaneswar, Subrat Kumar Patil, were producing a program Inbox. Uh, Inbox. So it's a very important program and interesting program. I don't know how the technology will help to the people, those who are in this field. So here I will start my presentation.